This is not just a movie, this is history brought back to life. In the heart of Fomena, a war that shaped the destiny of a kingdom was remembered, relived, and retold. From powerful war chant to intense reenactment, to chiefs, leaders, and the youth walking the same path their ancestors once took. AshantiFest 2026 didn't just celebrate culture. In fact, it took an entire generation back in time. This is a story of the Sagrenti War, and the journey to remember it has been reenacted in this year's AshantiFest. And all that you gotta do is to like, comment, subscribe, and share the video. Now let's get into the video.
Guys, if you've enjoyed this video so far, please do me a huge favor and hit the like button and subscribe. These videos take quite a long time to make, so if you could help me out, I'll love you forever. Thank you all for your support. Now let's get back to this crazy story.
So the Sagrenti War, also known as the Anglo-Ashanti War, was one of the most defining conflicts in Ghana's history. It was a battle between the powerful Ashanti Kingdom and the British forces, which was led by General Garnet Wolseley, locally known as Sagrenti. Now, the war changed everything. It led to the burning of Kumasi, it disrupted the Ashanti Kingdom, and it left a legacy that still lives on today. But this story is not told in books alone. At this year's AshantiFest 2026, history came alive in a dramatic cultural performance at Fomena. Warriors clashed in a symbolic battle. Gunshot and movements were recreated real movement with traditional costumes being brought into the present. Now, this was one of the headline events of the AshantiFest 2026, which was a pilgrimage to Fomena. And the event was led by Dr. Frank Amoakohene, who happens to be the Ashanti Regional Minister. I mean, who is the brain behind all of this? But he is also heavily supported by his mayor, and the unity among these guys is superb. It is actually working wonders in the Ashanti region. So the event was held at the Nursing and Midwifery Training College in Fomena, in Adanse, Fomena. He brought together a whole lot of dignitaries, including the king of Fomena. He was there to witness it live. Warriors clashed in a symbolic battle. Gunshot and movements were recreated real movement, with traditional costumes being brought into the presence.
Because you could see that disconnect and the surprises on the face of the audience with regards to the fact that the whole storyline was new to almost everyone in the building. This is just one of the numerous stories and the numerous struggles that the country and our forebears needed to undergo to see today that we have the modern Ghana and the region that we are now enjoying. So yes, I agree with them that we should have it as frequent as possible. AshantiFest is the start of a new trend. We had in mind that we will have it annually so that we will give the opportunity for every young person of the country and of the region to experience this. But as it has come out from the historian, that we get to receive it every 6 months. Even if we are unable to have it at a grand scale of this nature, we will engage the Ghana Education Service so that from time to time they will be able to organize the students. So that even without us and in our absence, they would be able to experience such an opportunity. So it is something that we will advance so that it wouldn't have to wait for even 6 months. We can have the schools come around, or we can have our troops from the cultural center who acted it out very well for us at the auditorium to actually visit these schools and have a statement for them so that we'll be able to connect them well. We wanted to holistically see an avenue where our culture, our history will be served right to the new generation. But we want a situation where modernization will not take away our culture, our story, and our history. So we try to reconnect with the key stories of Ashanti region. We were at the Sagrenti Festival at Kumasi, which we had the opportunity to tell the story of Kumasi and how our warriors were purified and also fortified for war. Again, we came here to Fomena to assess the Sagrenti War. And over here, at least the lessons that have come out of the drama, the play, the storytelling, the presentation and all that has taught us the price of war, but more importantly, the value of peace. Because if you assess what was lost as a result of that war, to tell you that as a people we should cherish the peace that we are enjoying. And also it brings to light the value of the repatriation, advocacy and resolution that was led by His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana at the UN. And the reason for which it is important for our dispensation, so that importantly the artifacts that were lost from our part of the world, Ashanti region, Ghana for that matter, will be brought back unconditionally.
Watch the Sagrenti War reenacted in the AshantiFest 2026. This event wasn't just acting. In fact, it was education, remembrance, and respect for those who fought. Every moment, every chant told a story of bravery and sacrifice. The journey to Fomena wasn't just an event. In fact, it was a pilgrimage. And what was your best moment of the recreation of the Sagrenti War in the Ashanti region? Drop it in the comment section. It's a wrap for today.